Here's Brody Brazil.
So before we dive in and take a look at these renderings, I feel like I need to set the scene just a little bit. We're only a few days removed from even finding out that the 95-acre site the Arizona Coyotes want to buy is actually going up for auction by the state of Arizona. So it's not to say that the Coyotes even have this site secured yet by any means, but it's that they can have the ability to purchase it. And now we've got some renderings specifically for this site, which is not necessarily a surprise. Arizona as a team has been working on this for a while. And so now these renderings are out for this specific plot of land north of the Loop 101 and just west of Scottsdale Road. So the very latest is this, the 95 acres. It will be auctioned by the state. That's supposed to happen in about a 10-week span. So it's going to still be a while before we understand how this all actually unfolds. Could be a 10-week process. Like I said, we will not know if the Coyotes actually get this land to purchase all on their own. It's going to go to the highest and best bidder, meaning it's not just the dollar amount, it's what the Coyotes want to do with this. And maybe that is now why they've released some of these renderings, just to give people an idea of what they're actually planning for the site. The site, by the way, still needs some infrastructure improvements. They've got to get water and sewage out there. There have to be some, I think, mitigations for a floodplain area. Everything has to be built up a little bit. Nothing that's out of the ordinary or can't be taken care of, but it's a site that's basically a work in progress. And oh yeah, all of these renderings you're about to see, I got them from the Arizona Coyotes app, of all places. So let's begin with the location here. It's this huge plot of land, but that's not what the Coyotes are after. That's like 1,000+ acres there that's wide open right now. We're only talking about that corner, that square, that intersection, the northwest corner of the Loop 101 and Scottsdale Road. Technically, this is North Phoenix. A lot of people think it's north of Scottsdale. It's also that. But here you go. The arena, the surrounding neighborhood looks like residential, commercial, a little bit of everything there. I see some parking structures. I see a whole separate venue. Like there's obviously the Coyotes Arena. Their logo's on top of it. Then there's that big sheltered area, kind of a, I don't even know what you'd call it, a patio area almost between the two venues. I think that's also a smaller venue, like a 3,000-seat performance center. That's the aerial view. Here's a look at it from more of a ground level. I would suppose we're hovering right now over the Loop 101, kind of looking to the northeast. Just a couple different images here to look at. I love the architecture. I think this fits Arizona. I mean, all the different versions of rendering so far by the Coyotes, they've all looked beautiful. It's just that none of them have actually come to fruition yet. I mean, is this literally version 2, if not 3, of full-scale renderings that have come out to give people a taste of what they might build? Yeah, there's that sheltered patio area in between the two buildings. I like the ramps. I really like what we're seeing here depicted. It's a little futuristic. It's got the desert theme to it. Now we're inside, I think, for a concert. And if you look up, you can kind of see the underside of the scoreboard, but also the ceiling. It's got like a southwestern-ish type texture to it. I think we'll see it, yeah, here when it's in hockey configuration. It's also interesting that there's, 1, 2, kind of like 3 levels on the sides, and then on the ends of the arena, there's kind of only 2, which is understandable. It looks modern. It's got a different look. This is something so far that's unique, but again, it's also very conceptual, being early on in the process, but definitely to the point where it makes sense to release these renderings. Inside that covered area, which you've got to imagine is a huge deal for anybody in Arizona, even for the beginning couple months of a hockey season, the final few months of a hockey season, it's going to get hot. And for all the events they'll want to do across the summer months, they want people to congregate. I mean, that looks like a shopping mall, to be quite honest, on the inside, that covered area. But it's all beautiful. I really like it. I like the theme. I like the tone. I'm wondering in this shot, are those cabanas? Is this like a Vegas pool party? Do you rent those cabanas? And obviously they've got the big screens there, so it could be used, this outdoor space, it looks like, could be used for a lot of different purposes over the years. It's just, yeah, it's classy. It's well done. There's a lot to it. I'm imagining this is what a luxury suite looks like inside the arena. Again, more of that Southwest type theme to it. Very modern, very luxurious. I'm not from Arizona. I go there a bunch. That screams Arizona to me, kind of that style and that theme. So there you go. That's a look at the Arizona Coyotes' new renderings for this new site. I really hope they get this done. Now, there are some challenges here, obviously, in that if they win this land auction, it's going to be expensive. I think the starting bid was around $68.5 million for about 95 acres, and I think that works out to be $700,000+ per acre. That's expensive for down there. Not only that, they'd have to take care of funding all the infrastructure themselves, building this all out themselves. In prior versions of what the Coyotes were trying to do, they leaned on municipalities for tax breaks and incentives to do this project. It seems here that if they make this happen, it's going to be all on them, and they'll have to fund it. They'll have to see this through. Now, in terms of the NHL, they've got to be happy with this development, right? Because the land auction is going to happen. You understand, a couple days ago, if Arizona said, actually, we're not going to auction that land, all of this is done. It's over. It's not happening. But now that that gate has kind of opened, it presents the Coyotes with an opportunity to get this done. And again, the release of renderings, which I also want to say here, was a little bit suspicious. These appeared on the team's website, and from what I understand, they were at one point taken down. They're still up on the team's app. They've been there the entire time. So I think at this point we realize that the team has made them public. These do exist. At some point, we'll probably get a little bit more detail on all the specifics, but they definitely want to see, at least the public is definitely going to want to see what the Coyotes are doing here to gain some leverage, some momentum, to get some public perception out there. Only the state of Arizona kind of gets to decide who is the winning bid, what is the winning bid for this plot of land. Now, the Coyotes were the ones that seemed to push this through, make it a thing, but the bidding is open to the public. So if anybody else is out there trying to get this site, they'll be able to at least put a bid in. But hopefully for the Coyotes, this is the end game. I think it's a good site. It's wide open. Sure, it's not centrally located as it could possibly be, but it's still in a very good spot, closer to Scottsdale, closer to where they always should have been. I really like the Tempe idea. I think Mesa was probably not in the team's best interest, but I think this, of all sites, is probably going to work out just as good as anything else. So that was quick. We've got new renderings. Coyotes fans should be a little bit more excited, and obviously with the details that should come out about this, I'm sure some quotes, some commentary from the team eventually, this is hopefully going to get some momentum and hopefully get some resolution. Because if in the next 9 or 10 weeks, if this all gets settled and sorted away, we can be done with it. And then there's no more conversation, realistically speaking, about Utah or relocation. If the Coyotes can nail this down, it should be the end game if you believe their ownership and what they want to do and build this all on their own. Hey, you made it here to the end of the video. You know I really appreciate that. Thumbs up down below. Also, if you're new here, you've never seen me or this channel before, that's awesome. I'm glad you found me. But do me a quick favor. Make sure you hit that subscribe button down below so I can definitely see you back here next time.